This is the map. First of all, I want to welcome you and thank you for taking this time out to join me. As I said, get your notebooks out, get your paper ready. And if you have any questions for me, I left a whole half an hour at the end just for me to be able to answer your questions that you may have about like building your business, moving it forward, and pick my brain about whatever you may have. I'm going to be sharing a bunch of tips in here that I have used, but at any point, I want you to take them and to try to see how you may be able to switch them around to utilize inside of your own business and make them your own, obviously. So this is pretty much my blueprint for how I have built my six-figure Yoni steaming business. And in here, I'm going to show you my top 6 tips that I feel like every business owner should pay a lot of attention to beyond the regular, like, oh, have a business plan or, you know, product and service, pricing. I mean, those are general things, but I want to like take a deep step in to and deep view into what I use to allow me to catapult my business forward a lot of times that I don't think a lot of people pay attention to or really tell people about. So they're kind of like the inner workings, I feel, of every successful business owner. And then if you have any questions, of course, you can ask them in relation to the topic or, in otherwise. So let's just get started. So this is obviously building your six-figure business. So the first thing I want you to really ask yourself in this whole process, and I know that this kind of sounds cliche, but I feel like the more your business grows, you really need to stay connected to your why. And the reason why I say that is because it's really, really easy. The more you expand, the more people learn about you, the more you put yourself out there, for you to get detached from the very thing that made you start your business in the first place. In addition to that, a lot of times you see companies that start out with their vision and their mission and their why very intact. And then at some point they get offered some crazy amount of money, right? Because they're very successful and they're moving forward and people see that they have an innovative idea or maybe even something that's an industry changing idea. And I'm going to caution you that as you are building your business, you really want to stay in touch with your personal why, but always ask yourself, am I willing to sell myself to another business or another person who's developing businesses? Because their reason for wanting to buy you may be one of 2 reasons. Either A, they see that you're booming in the business and they really want to help you to continue to move forward, or B, they want to silence you. So after I read this slide, I'm going to show you an example of this that I have experienced in my own company before I even got anywhere near what I am right now. Okay, so you want to ask yourself, what's your why? Every great business starts with a powerful why, and that why makes you show up even when everything inside of you wants to stay home, stay in your bed, do absolutely nothing for the day, figure out a way to not do what you said you were going to do. Like, your why is what keeps you tapped in. And every powerful why is backed by usually a life experience, a conviction, or a need that you realize has not been fulfilled, and you decide to be the change that is needed to improve that current condition in your life or in the life of others. And that why is also the secret sauce of your business and what makes your business move forward. So throughout this time while we're talking, I want you to take a minute to think about what your personal why is for starting your business. And then how does your why or your current business intersect with the why of your, for me, it's my Yoni steaming business, but how does it intersect with what you are doing? I know that Shay has, purchased the Yoni steaming, course or whatever. So this will work for you, sis. Like, why do you want to combine, or what about the why of your regular, everyday business connects with the why of your Yoni steaming business, for example, that makes you see the vision for moving forward. Now, when I first started my business, the first brick and mortar location that I got into, or first online platform for a brick and mortar location, was Walmart. And I was doing very well on Walmart. My sales were going crazy. You know, the community was purchasing, it was blowing up. And next thing I know, I got an email from a company. And they were like, hi, we're very interested in your product. We wanted to know if you would be interested in, you know, us purchasing your product line, or they put it in a way of like investing in your product line to help you move your business forward. But the thing about it was they wanted me to allow them to buy into my company, but then they would have a certain amount of control. Now, ideally, you know, obviously a lot of people build businesses because they want to have that like $1 million offer. They want to move their business forward in a major way. But for me, my why was very important. I am on a mission, and at that time was on a mission and still am on a mission to help women heal their wounds naturally, where they don't have to go to hysterectomy or myomectomy or some crazy intrusive procedure in order to heal their womb. So for me, when the company came and offered to purchase my company and then have some semi control of it, it felt very out of touch with what I wanted to do, because I knew that in that fine line was going to be the idea that they can either silence me or take control over what I wanted to see happen with my company, and therefore pretty much kind of like buy me and then stunt my growth of how much I can be, especially if they are like, especially if you're in the industry where you're doing herbs or herbal healing or natural healing or anything like that. And then you have a big pharma company who comes, or a major corporation that comes and tries to buy you. Most of the time that is a way for them to try to stunt how much of the industry you take over if they see that you're moving. So the point of all of that and what I'm saying is just to remember your why and really ask yourself, how does my why stay true in everything that I do inside of my business as I am focusing on expansion? Okay, and so the next thing that I want you to focus on is your business mission. And every intention-based business is fueled by their why and is guided by their mission statement, which serves as a compass that directs their business success. Your business's mission statement should be a clear set of overall outcomes that you would like to create through the operation of your business to enhance your life and the life of others. So, what is your current business mission statement, and what is the mission statement of, for me, my Yoni statement business? So for me, you know, when I created, I have the product line and I have the Yoni steaming like courses and things like that, and then I have other things that I'm working on as well. I have to ask myself through all of that. I know very clearly what my why is to impact the health of women, one Yoni steam or one herbal product at a time, where it is not using intrusive procedures. And then I have to find what is my mission and how does that align with my why. Now, in business, a lot of people set goals, especially with it being a new year. Okay. And I don't want you to fall into this trap. A lot of people set goals and they don't set outcomes. Now, setting goals versus outcomes means that you set a sturdy foundation versus a non-sturdy foundation. When most people think about achieving their milestones in their business, they automatically think about the goals that they want to set. But every highly successful business is built on business outcomes and not goals. Goals simply list things that you would like to accomplish. Outcomes takes the goal that you listed and turns it into an actionable set of, of steps that you use to reach a desired destination in your business. So as a business owner, it is essential that you are clear on the direction that you desire to travel with your business. Otherwise, you will find yourself spending hours planning and strategizing about your business's success with a planner full of tasks, but no idea of how to make those tasks reach the desired outcome. So after you have created your list of desired outcomes for your business, it's time to build the systems that you're going to use to create that success inside of the business that you desire. So at this moment, I want you to take the next 2 to 3 minutes and I want you to write down what are some business outcomes that you want to see. When we think about outcome, okay, a goal would be, I want to gain 1,000 new business entrepreneurs in my Yoni Steaming certification course, for example, for me, right? That's my goal. The outcome is I want to get 100 new or 1,000 new student enrollments by means of blah, blah, blah. So I have to say what I'm going to do. Okay. I'm going to post on my social. These are examples that I'm coming up with. I'm going to post on my social media channels 2 to 3 times a day. I'm going to reach out to people who show interest in the course 2-3 months ago, reach back around to them and make sure that I do customer follow-up, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. I'm going to market on Facebook ads, for 6 weeks straight with a specific marketing plan, strategy plan. I want you to come up with 2 to 3 outcomes that you desire to see in 2024. So they can be goals. Okay, they're going to be listed like goals, but we're going to work into making them outcomes by putting into those steps things that you can do that are actions to reach that. Take these next 2 to 3 minutes. I'm going to put on some meditation music, and I want you to write 2 to 3 goals that you desire to see in your business move forward. And then the next step is we're going to create the action plans for those steps to see your business expand. So think deep. Think beyond what you've always put into your notebook, okay? Think beyond the things that you finish.
I have a question because it's not about the goals. So I've been working on this. I actually have been messaging you on Facebook. I don't know if you correlated my name or face or anything. I'm the one that lost a job recently.
Yeah,
I'm
Chelsea.
Right. So I've been like working on this because I've been listening to our different sisters, about creating plans. But the question I have is like about the mission statement, because so I had a question like how do you develop the mission statement if you're like a herbalist and you know that you have to be careful of wording. So for instance, like you can't say healing using herbs, you know what I'm saying? Like, because I feel like wouldn't that create chaos?
So you can use words like transformation. You can use words like optimal health. So instead of saying my mission is to heal customers one Yoni steam at a time, my mission is to impact the health of my customers. Impact. So instead of saying heal, say impact. Instead of saying to help them, I'm going to help them heal so that they can be in good health. My thing is I'm going to help them reach optimal health. So I help them. Another thing that you can do is you can list your mission statement in a way that you talk about aiding them in their healing process, which means, which the underlying meaning is, I'm not healing you, but I am one of the many things that you can do on your path of healing. Does that make sense?
Right.
So you can refer to the healing path itself, not necessarily your service as healing, but you're one of the things that they can do on their healing journey.
But
so
what about, right? One of like my things that I offer, like as myself, is like, yeah, I'm a herbalist, but I'm also like a health advocate, like maternal health advocate, and just normal. I have mentored women because I've had cancer. So I've mentored people like after I'm like, hey, this is how you maneuver and word things for the doctor to know that like how to move about your healing with a doctor or whatever. Like, how would you consider that? Just because I was just gonna say like part of teaching is advocacy.
Yeah, well, I would say that I'm an advocate. So this is the thing. When you mention yourself as an advocate, that means that you're going to be using some of the language that doctors use in order to relate to them directly. So for you specifically, I would separate my herbal practice using the herbs, selling the herbs from my advocacy. I would sell them as 2 different packages. So if a person wants herbs, they want me to formulate things for them, that's one thing. But if they want me to be an advocate for them, I'm using a different kind of language because I'm dealing with the doctor, the nurse, the healing, whatever team they have directly. So I'm going to use the words that relates to that field. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how I would navigate that. I would separate it out.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
No problem. Okay, so we're going to take the next 2 minutes. We're going to write down 2 or 3 goals that we want to see in our business. And then we're going to work on making those into outcome, making some outcomes that we want to see from those goals. Okay, so does somebody want to share one of the goals that they may have put down that they want to see and turn into an outcome in their business?
A goal for me is like to help my confidence for my business is to like research an herb a day, which also can be used like for my other goal of posting on Instagram. Okay, so I'm gonna post about that one herb, which means that then I'm being active with followers or whoever and showing that, hey, like I do these lectures, So a lot of my goals tie into each other in the outcome. So like when I'm doing one outcome, it's tying into the confidence and networking outside and being comfortable with who I am. Another goal was like funding, because I was terrible when I started my business. I used like my own money rather than looking for grants and scholarships and stuff. I was using my own money. And now that I have lost my job, like I don't have that option. And I probably shouldn't be doing that anyways, because I have read somewhere like America's the land of the free. And so they were like, oh, like meaning there's a lot of grants and scholarships for stuff that you want to do.
There is a lot of grants and scholarships, but that is also a very much cutthroat aspect of business as well, and it takes a lot of time. So grants and
Right.
funding is something that takes a lot of time, but I wouldn't necessarily say insert it at the base level of your business. I would say insert it because a lot of the grants and things are going to want you to have your ideas already mapped out, and your they want to start to see that you have already started to produce for yourself, and you're not necessarily trying to just use their money. Even if they are a startup grant, they want to see that you've already started to do the legwork for their grant to be put into work, not that you're going to get it and then put it into something else. So what I want to say though is I think it's going to be, positive for you to kind of hit yourself to the back of me in whatever ways that you can, because I'm going to like really help you to navigate the bullying and try to help you to bolster yourself up in the business aspect so that you don't have the fear. I did see that Shay said that was one of the things for her as well, is the fear aspect. And I understand because it's new, it's a new territory. It's something that you're trying to learn how to do. Is out of your comfort zone. It's and comfort zones are there for a reason, to keep us safe. You know what I mean? So but when we step out of those, that's where real expansion comes. So I love your ideas. And so what I want both of you to do is to take, or love your goals. What I want you to do is to map out 2 or 3 actions that you can do that is going to allow you to move each of those goals forward. So, for example, you said that you have already gotten into counseling in order to work on the fear and the confidence aspect. That's one way. What's something else that you could do? Maybe you could look into sister kind of coaching programs that are not funding based. Like I have the business mastermind, right? And even though it's for birth workers, even though you're not necessarily going to be a doula, we're still talking about fundamentals of business. So you might want to get into the mastermind. It's free. It's something where people come together as a collective and you build on each other's energy, and it's all meant to be helpful resources for people who are starting out businesses. So I feel like that's something that you can look for, more of those kind of resources that are available to you that are free that you can be able to utilize. And then a lot of states have help. Like here in Philly, they have the Enterprise Center. I'm not sure what it would be called in each of your states, but there might be like another kind of grant funding type hub that is already paid by the government to provide free resources and classes to you to bolster up your experience and your knowledge that you don't have to pay for. So those are just some suggestions that I have moving forward. And I think that, you and I can talk a little bit more if you want to when we get off of here. We can schedule another time to talk this week where we can like build certain aspects and kind of give you a better idea of how to move on each of those goals. But for right now, just so we can, like, in the respect of time, to put down 2 or 3 action plans that you will do for each of the things that are on your list in order to help you move forward. And then when we come back for both of you individually, we will sit down and we will talk about how to move those steps forward. Okay? All right. Amazing. So obviously every business, right, in the midst of building, and I will send you the slideshow so y'all don't have to worry about trying to take all the notes down of what I'm saying. But in the midst of building your business and the foundation, every great business also has a business plan. Now the business plan, when you get into grant funding and scholarships and things like that, it's going to be needed. But for right now, if you're not getting into that phase, like, and you just are trying to figure out the focus of your business, you want to do that by building a business plan. And it could be a lightweight one. It does not have to be 10, 15, 20 pages, but one that just kind of puts your ideas down on paper. Because a lot of times something that we do or people do is they have all of these ideas in their head, and it's kind of hard to put them down on paper and to actually map out how to go from there. So they get stuck with analysis paralysis and they don't move forward in what they would like to do in their business. So you want to get into the habit of writing your thoughts down and your visions for what you want to create inside of your business. And so, your business plan. So your business plan is a roadmap that guides the development and expansion of your business over time. In my experience, the business plan becomes more essential the older your business gets. As your business grows in age, you may experience areas where your business plan changes while your why and your mission remains the same. So the business plan should include the following aspects: your executive statement, which is basically the mission statement and what you have to offer to the world and to your potential customers. The second thing is your business description. You want to describe your product or service that you are offering and what your ideal customer looks like. Include any business history and experience that you feel that you have that are essential in you running your business. What is your customer's age? Where does your customer live? How much do they make a year? Where do they shop? Where do they go on social media? What do they do with their pastime? Do they have children? Are they single? These are all things that are very important for you to know about your potential customer in order for you to meet them where they are with your marketing and with your advertising of different things that your business offers. Okay. Then that moves us into our marketing analysis. Who is your competition and what price point are you going to charge for your product or your service? The next thing that we're going to move into, our fourth thing, is our company organization. How will you be legally formed? Who are your company's owners? And if it's just you that's owning your company, how do you foresee in the future if you were in need of expansion, right? So I talked about how and we're going to talk about this a little bit more in depth, but I talked about earlier about how I got into Walmart. In the beginning, when I planted my business, baby, I had 7 packs of herbs, and they were things that I had used to heal myself, and I started selling that. Since then, I have advanced my product line into over 100 herbal products and product lines that people can use in order to heal or to help themselves get into a better place. So I'm using the word heal with us, but in normal, outside life, we wouldn't use the word heal with herbs. But I'm just saying these are things that they can use in their day-to-day life to reach a place of better health and optimal health. Okay. The fifth thing that you want to think about is your products and your services that you offer. And this will most likely look like the packages that you offer or the product or service that you are given. So, for example, if you're a doula and you're combining it with your nursing knowledge, it might be that you do a startup consultation when a mom first comes home from postpartum, and you help her to identify what aspects of her health she may be able to improve using blah, blah, blah. Or if you're using herbs, it may look like I offer, and you want to do lectures and courses, I offer this particular herbal course or this particular herbal knowledge, and you can get it for blah, blah, blah. Like, create packages that goes along with what you offer as a product or service. And then your financial projections. What is your desired annual income? And this is where we start getting into the nitty gritty of business. Like, everybody has this idea of what they want to make. Everybody has this idea where they see their business going, but they don't know like the steps that you should take to get to that. And so we're going to cover that towards the end. How will you achieve this outcome? And this also includes your cash projections for the year. So I can foresee my business reaching $100,000 this year. How is that going to happen? What are the things I'm going to implement inside of my business in order for the $100,000 to be created? What is your current cash flow statements and other financial documents that will give a full overview of your company's financial health if you are already operating? And I know that Shay, you said that you are in the business, in the process of building everything from scratch, and you kind of need to have a little bit more ideas of, or understanding about it. And so we'll dive into the financial projection section deep as well, because that is a very important aspect in order for you not to get caught up with certain things later on as you are developing your business. So this is your business plan, an overview of your business plan. And so there are 5 keys to building a 6-figure business that I feel like a lot of people don't focus on, but they need to be. The first thing is that you want to start your business from the very beginning with at least one staff member. And the reason why I say this, and this could be this position, and let me start out by saying this position is going to be different for everybody. For some people, this may be a virtual assistant. For some people, this may be a person like for Chelsea, it may be that you are training a sister or a cousin or another person that you're going to eventually hire to learn certain ways that you do your packaging and your product presentation so that they can be able to learn the ins and outs of your business from the very beginning. And the reason why this is so freaking important is because it's going to determine whether you can expand later on in the future sufficiently. The second thing that you want to do, and the second key, is to save 20% of every sale you make to pay yourself. Your business's money is not all of your money, meaning everything your business makes does not automatically go into your wallet. You need to understand how to divide those funds up, and we're going to get into that more in detail as you move forward. The third key is to plan your year with the energy of the seasons. Be aware of what season you are in and how that affects the development of your business. Key number 4, what you do now will yield fruit for you in 8 to 12 weeks. And key number 5 is when you create your business, you have to create, or my suggestion is you create 2 key aspects. And this is something that everybody overlooks. Don't overlook it. I'm telling you, if I would have implemented this from the very beginning when I started my business, where I would be financially right now is much, much different than where, or the amount of time that it has taken me to get where I am right now. So when you create your business, you want to create 2 key aspects. The first thing is your product or your service, and the second thing is a residual income source. And that's extremely important. Okay, and so now let's go into key number 1. Key number 1, start your business with at least 1 staff member. Starting with 1 essential staff member will help you to train an individual from the very beginning on the fundamentals of your business and will allow you to duplicate yourself. Now, you may be thinking like, why the heck do I want to duplicate myself? Well, duplication is key in order for you to be able to expand in the future. So you, as a business owner, you don't want to build your business as the right now, like what you can see directly in front of you. The whole entire time that you are building your business, you want to be building it with a 5-year projection plan. And so this is something that we're going to jump into in February in our 1-hour intensive, but you want to have a 5-year projection plan. What do I mean by that? That means in year 5, where do I see myself being? And then work backwards. So year 4, what have I accomplished? Year 3, what have I accomplished? Year 2, what have I accomplished? Year 1, what have I accomplished? Those 4 years leading up to year 5 is going to, and when you accumulate all of it, create the year 5 person that you have become. So what you want to do is you want to create a 5-year projection of yourself. In 5 years, where do I see myself being? How much money am I making? Where am I living? What is my business doing? Where is my business based? Am I still here in the US? Have I traveled? Am I doing internships? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? And from that 5th year, you're going to break down each of those main aspects of yourself personally and the main aspects of your business to create the plan of how you're going to break down those next 4 to 5 years till you reach that ideal person or ideal self. Having a fully trained staff member allows you to step away from the everyday task of running the business when expansion begins. And the reason, what I mean by this is, okay, let's say, for example, when I first started out, I started out with a very close friend of mine that I trained to be my executive administrative assistant, right? And in the very beginning, I too was at a place where I didn't really have a whole lot of money. I'm going to cover how you will do this if you can't afford it, but you want to bring that in. So now, after you have created this bond with the person, and now every week you're creating a plan of what you're teaching them. So you're teaching them, if you're doing a product-based business, you're teaching them the underlying aspects of how you run your business on a computer, how you package your products. If the person is near you, they're going to be a physical help to you. If they're virtual and they're far away, then they're going to be a virtual help to you. But the point is, you want to teach them that. Why? Because when it was time for me to start building courses, when it was time for me to start traveling to open up hubs, when it was time, like franchise locations around the US, when it was time for me to start bringing on ambassadors and training them, that person that I started training from the very beginning became the other me that was able to keep the company moving sufficiently to the point where I could step away to expand other areas. But if you're the only person, and a lot of entrepreneurs start here because they're like, I can't afford it, I don't have the money, or whatever. I'm going to get into that in a second. But what I want to say is where there's a will, there's a way. So you want to create that relationship with a person so that when the expansion comes, you don't have to slow down. You don't have to, okay, imagine the opportunity for Walmart came for me, right? But I didn't start to train at that time how to run my business or how to help me to, keep things moving. When it came time for me to package those orders, or when I onboarded another hub owner, another franchise owner into my company, when it came time for me to oversee that and go to that location, if I didn't have a person online, I would have never been able to do that. I would have had to pause the main business that I was doing in order to be able to go and travel to take care of that hub owner that was starting in another location. And then when I came back, I would have been trying to restart the business again. So I hope that makes sense. But having a person as duplicated as you allows you to expand. Now, as I said, this position will not be the same for every person. And for me, it was a virtual assistant. I needed more the virtual assistance of every day keeping up with orders, making sure that meetings were together, making sure that the calendar was on point, making sure that meetings that I was having was organized, just making sure the business basics were taken care of, because then I can oversee the physical things that I needed to do here at the home base here in Philly. Now, the answer to that is there are a lot of community colleges and agencies that have students that need to work for you in order to complete their internship. For example, I was laying in my bed the other day, and my spiritual community knows that I run a business. I got a phone call from a young girl in my community that was like, hey, or her mother that was like, hey, Hadida, so-and-so needs to be able to have a certain amount of community service hours in order for her to be able to do her freshman year of college, whatever she needs. Do you mind if she comes and works for your company in exchange for her community service? There are countless students who are in the fields of what you are trying to do. I don't care what your business is, that needs the community service hours to go onto their course completion or in order for them to graduate or to move to the next level, especially in college, because you want to or senior high school students or higher, right? But they need those community service hours in order for them to be able to move on and graduate. Same thing, like when my mom was going for her master's, she had to do a practicum, and where she had to go into the classroom, find a teacher that will allow her to come into the classroom and shadow that teacher for X amount of time and be able to produce lessons and be able to do things with students. So my point is, every university and college has students that needs to complete a certain amount of in-field hands-on work in order for them to graduate. And the way that you as a business owner can get help without paying for it is to make sure that your business is legally set up, LLC wise and things like that. We get your fundamentals down as far as your business plan and your projection of where you want to go. And then we start to create the systems inside of your company that you're actually going to be training that person to do, so that they're taking care of that aspect while you're working on expansion. Does that make sense? And if y'all need help with this afterwards, obviously we can touch on this, y'all reach out to me. And so it's a really big key that a lot of entrepreneurs don't know about and they don't utilize. So trust me, there's millions of people who are looking for it. Think about how I want to say like 75% of all students do work study. They do work study. So they work for the college or the university in order to accrue a certain number. It's the same program just for entrepreneurs. Okay. And so I can help you to find some of those locations and places that might be doing it. Key number 2, you want to save 20% of what you make to pay yourself. So you're going to use the equation of 20 plus 50 plus 30 equals the 100% that you make in your company. Saving 20% of your personal salary as a business owner means that, say, for example, your company makes $1,000 for the month, okay? Through your business, you make $1,000. You want to take 20% of that, which is only $200, to be your personal income. Anything more than that starts to cut into your ability to keep your business running. And I'm going to explain why in a few minutes. So in order for you to figure out what you need to make in your business to be able to carry your monthly expenses, I want you to, when we get off of here, total up all of your monthly expenses that you have. Let's say that your monthly expenses comes out to $2,000, okay? You're going to take that $2,000 and multiply it by 5. That is what you want to work towards building monthly in your business, which will be $10,000 in order for you to suffice yourself and your business long term. Now, initially, most entrepreneurs are like, well, Hadida, I'm working all of my time trying to build my business. I don't really have it to be able to take a portion in the very beginning. And I would say that you don't allow this to go beyond the first 12 months at the very most. Okay. Listen to me very carefully with this portion because I see so many people who end up in the same pitfall. You want to be able to take the 20% that would be your personal salary out of what your business makes. And if at the very most extreme case, the 30% that you would invest back into your company from your monthly income, that's going to create 50%. So the 20% here on the screen that you're going to save and the 30% that you would be able to invest at the very most, you don't want to take more than 50% of what your company brings in every month. Now, ideally, you want to put yourself, so after that first 12 months, you want to get yourself to a place where you are only taking 20% of the cash flow that you make. All right. So let's say that we did our math. We have $10,000 as our monthly income that we need in order to 5 times our saving amount that we're like putting toward our personal bills as our salary. Okay. The other 80%, you're going to split up into 2 pieces. 50% of what you made, so 50% of that 10,000, which is going to give you $5,000, you're going to reinvest back into your company. Now, reinvestment looks like your personal development and expansion of your own personal knowledge in order for you to build a business that is lucrative. That might go into self-development, that might go into private coaching, that might go into, hey, I see this product or this service or this opportunity that I would really like to be able to add to what I'm doing in the business. Let me invest in that. However you see fit, it goes into buying more product. So if you're doing herbs or you're doing Yoni steams, 1 month, half of your income might go into you getting more Yoni steaming herb or more herbs that you use to make your healing teas or whatever your thing may be that allows you to have the product on hand to sell. Because one of the biggest things that I see specifically for women of color, unfortunately, but I see it the most with us out of everybody that I've talked to and that I have helped to train in their business, is that we have to live off of what our business produces. Therefore, when it comes time for us to get more product in the door, when it comes time for us to be able to invest to get bags of whatever we got to packages we got to put our product into, or get more, for me, herbs to make the Yoni semen blends for my company, or get more labels to go onto there, we don't have the money. So you got to have a kitty that you're taking 50% of what you earn and putting it into the kitty. So when it comes time for you to re-up, you can always go into that kitty and get more money in order to keep your business flowing. The worst thing that you can do as an entrepreneur is be sold out of a product for more than a day, because your customer, that sale that you would have gotten, is going to go to another place. If a person wants something, they want it right then and there. Especially in this world in America where everything is fast food, everything is fast. You can pull up to a store, pick up your groceries. You ain't even got to get out no more. Things are fast. People want it now. People are not patient. So you want to make sure that as a business owner, you are always matching that. And the way that you match that is to make sure that you have money set aside every month that can go back into reinvesting in your business if you need it. So for me, I try to make sure that I always have cash on hand if I need to get herbs, or if I need to get, for me, my biggest thing is I run out of toner. So I need to make sure that if I can't get toner the next day, that I have the cash set aside, that when I need to go to the copy center where I have a really great relationship with the people there, the staff there, so I get a lot of discounts for my company, I can go there and I can print off instantly and get what I need, because that is going to be the difference between a customer getting their product right away or it taking a week or 2 or 3 or 4 or however long to melt out. You get what I'm saying? So you got to make sure that you have those things in house. And then the last part, that 30%, is you want to invest in your business so that you can increase your monthly capital. And this can look like stocks. It could look like cryptocurrency. It could also look like, though, business expansion to more than one location. So for me, 1 month, I might decide, okay, I have 30% of the cash that I've saved up for the first 5 months of the year. In May, okay, I'm ready to open up another hub. I'm ready to open up another location, some other state in the US. So now I'm going to travel there, and that becomes my money that allows me to expand. And so I have my money for my staff. I have my money for my business location. I have my money for my product. Those things are already available because I didn't have to take it. I didn't have to go to a bank to try to create that money or try to get that money. It was already there and available through the sales that I got. And I took it out little by little and put it into a fund. So now when it's time for me to need it, $15,000 is there. It's not me trying to go and get $15,000 all at once. It's me taking a little by little by little and putting money into an account in order to be able to build that. Okay. So this is the equation you want to use. 20 plus 50 plus 30 equals 100. Save 20%, reinvest 50% back into your company, and invest 30% into other things that are going to yield more capital. Key number 3 is using the seasons to propel your business forward. And this is so freaking important. Oh, you raised your hand. Yes, love.
To number 2, as far as the formula, would that be the same if you had a home-based business or an online business? Like for me, I don't have a physical location yet, and I actually prefer to travel to my customers to do some of this work because I already travel anyways during my monitrese doula monitrese work. So would that formula be the same, or would it change based on
it would
where
still be
you're
the same
housed? Okay.
Because even if you don't invest, that was an example, but if you're not investing in a business location, maybe you're investing in another additional product line. Maybe you're investing in a partnership with a company that allows you to expand what you can offer your customers. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, whatever it is, it's something that you're investing in that's going to increase your monthly capital for your business. Investments is a
Okay.
very key important part of building business. Obviously, it would be dynamite if you invested back into yourself in some kind of way for your own expansion. But sometimes it looks like you buying a franchise. Like, maybe you want to hold a whole own franchise, or create a whole agency that allows you to, take nursing, and like where you hire nurses who also want to double train as doulas. And maybe a portion of that is you getting trained to be a doula educator in order for you to hire nurses. You get what I'm saying? So there's going to be things that as you expand business, you're going to want to be like, oh, that would be banging if I could add it. Having the money on the side to be able to do is so important for you to just be able to reach in that fund and be able to invest it, because that means the difference between your business advancing in 2024 or your business advancing in 2028. You get what I'm saying?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem. Okay, so key number 3 is using the seasons to propel your business forward. And this is extremely important because we're in January, and naturally everybody is all like, oh yeah, I gotta, get all my stuff together. It's a new year, it's a new year, it's a new year. But we got to be careful that we remember the energy of the seasons as we are building business in order for it to take us forward. So every season has an energy that it brings, and this energy can be used to increase the productivity and success of your business. As entrepreneurs, you will probably be tempted to begin your new fiscal year in January. But contrary to popular belief, this is counterproductive to the success of your company. Winter, January. So the winter solstice technically runs from December 21st to March 21st. That winter period carries the energy of death. When I say death, I mean things in nature dying. So the trees and the grass and things are dying. It's going into a cold period. It's a cold and still period. It's the hibernation hibernation energy. It's inward reflection. It's the perfect time for us to do shadow work, and it's also the perfect time for us to learn and ingest, eat up as much as we can. Think about the bear, right? The bear, when he's going into hibernation, he's getting ready to eat all that he possibly can so that he can be able to sleep in the winter time in order for him to get out and live his best life in spring. The same thing goes for us as we're building our business. In fall, which I'm going to get into in a second, but in fall, we're going to eat up as much as we can and continue to bring in the harvest of cash flow, so that in winter, we could be putting our energy into going inward and building aspects of our business and ourselves. What things do we want to see prosper in 2024? What do I need to improve in myself in order for me to be able to be the entrepreneur, or have the skill set, or have the mindset, or have the determination, or have the know-how to build a business that's killing it? You know what I'm saying? It's so many people out here. Everybody's entrepreneurs these days, right? How do I set myself apart? And when you ask yourself that question, you might realize things about yourself that you might not want to have to deal with at the moment. Like, okay, I got trauma that's preventing me from being able to speak up for myself. Okay, I need to work on it. I'm insecure about the fact that I don't know, whatever skill at this moment. Okay, let me see if I can find either a free resource or a very low price one, or somewhere I can barter my knowledge. Because that's a whole nother thing, y'all. As entrepreneurs, find people that's willing to barter skills for skills. But I don't want to digress on it. So you want to find things that you need to expand in self, and as far as in your knowledge, and do shadow work in this time so that you can be, and your business can be where you want it to be. This is also the time that if you want to take courses, baby, this is the time to take courses during the winter period. Because when spring comes, it carries the energy of life beginning again. So everything that you planned, everything, when you made your 5-year, you want to make your 5-year projection plan in wintertime. You want to split your calendar up into sections of productivity. Like, you want to plan out your year in the winter. So now when the spring comes, it carries the energy of planting the seed of everything that you thought about, and you saw that you needed to work on. Okay. And it's the energy of rebirth and renewal. It is also the perfect time to set your intentions to begin new activities in a company, and is the ideal time to start your business's fiscal year. So when most people start their business in January, as you may know, like if you paid attention, when you got your LLC, they should have asked you, when does your fiscal year begin? You don't have to start your fiscal year in January. You can choose to start your fiscal year in March or April 1, however you want to do it. But for me, I start my fiscal year in April 1. So technically, my business is not moving out of it's not moving into its new year phase until April 1. Okay. And then that's the time, like I said, you want to work on planting seeds. So that looks like networking with other business owners so that you can find the resources of everything that you wrote down that you want to work on, those outcomes that we talked about earlier. You want to start to put those things into action in spring. If it includes working with someone else, anything that includes you developing yourself, you can do right now during the winter solstice. But when the springtime comes, now you're starting to network with people. Now you're starting to launch your. This is the perfect time if you building a website, launch your website in the spring. It's the perfect time to introduce your new product line. For me, I released a whole bunch of new products in springtime. Why? Because it's the energy that things are new and people are open to receiving it. Because right now, you aren't the only person that's hibernating or feeling like they want to be inside. Everybody is. Everybody looking for a warm, cozy, fluffy blanket or sweater to bundle up with, some warm tea, a fireplace. Like everybody's in that energy. You know what I mean? So this is the time where everybody's inward. So it's a little bit harder to sell things that are new products to people at this time. If they've already been hearing about your product or service, it's not so difficult. But if it's something that's brand new that you're trying to start, this is not the optimal time. Spring is. Then summer, it carries the energy of expansion and growth. So with summer, everything that we set our intentions on achieving in the winter and we started planting the seeds for in spring will be in full bloom in the summertime. If you have a physical product, I encourage you to go to events and network and market yourself. So like maybe you want to go to vending, maybe you want to find expos, maybe you want to, figure out what things might be going on at your local community college, and maybe you want to teach courses there. Maybe you want to find where there's places that you can insert yourself for brand awareness. And all of that happens in the summertime because that's going to lead to the harvest that you're going to be able to gather in the fall. And harvest the fall carries the energy of reaping the last harvest, and it's the perfect time to gather extra cash and put things into place that will yield fruit for the next year. And this is the time to till your business's soil. So you're going to be like, it's the holiday season as well, right? So that's the perfect time. And it's funny because the holiday season of October, November, December, that whole season is literally the fall, right? People see it as a winter because it's starting to get cold, but it's the fall. It goes with the energy of reaping the last of harvest. And so that also means that it goes with, it kind of works hand in hand and perfectly with the fact that people are out buying as much as they can, which is why businesses are seeing their best time at the end of the year during the fall. Have y'all ever thought about how the seasons dictate the energy in business and how people in that time are willing to spend a lot more? But it's in my thought process, it's kind of divinely crafted because it's literally the season where people are willing to do like the last hustle and bustle before they go into hibernation. And for the business owner, it's the time when people are willing to spend the last bit of their money before they go into hibernation and stay inward. And I think that business owners would see a lot more success because if we weren't setting our New Year's resolutions, right, quote unquote, during the winter time, and we were instead looking at things that we want to build on in ourselves during the winter, when it came time for the spring to come, that is the time to set our New Year's resolutions. So when March 21st comes and that the winter solstice ends and the spring comes in, it's the time to start setting those New Year's resolutions and putting those things in place, because now everything that we've worked on inside of ourselves is new. Now it's time to come out to the world about it. And it's time to show those new aspects, of our business and that whole New Year's resolution planning. It's time to bring that out. And so that's what the spring energy holds. The next thing is you also want to be aware of your menstrual cycle and how it falls throughout the month. For me and my business, when I first started my company, and I still hold true to it all these years later, and even for myself, I do not work the week of my menstrual cycle. I try not to work the week of my menstrual cycle. Now, as a business owner, it's a little bit harder sometimes. And for me specifically, only because my menstrual cycle does not always come the same exact number of days every month. So sometimes it's a little bit harder to plan in the cycle of that. But generally speaking, if your cycle comes regularly every single month like clockwork, you want to pay attention to this. During the week of your cycle, you want to count it as a winter energy. So it's the energy where you are inward, where you are hibernating, where you are still, where you are working on self, where you are reflecting, where you are doing shadow work, and where you are open to getting guidance for the rest of the month. Our menstrual cycle is a time that we are able to connect to divine power, whatever you believe in, God, universe, spirit, whatever, connect to that main source to be guided. So all those questions as an entrepreneur that we have could be dead essentially every single month if all we did was take the time of our week or a little bit longer than a week or however your cycle goes to actually tune in to what you need to be told. So for me, when my cycle comes, I take it as a time for me to do self-reflection. I do a lot of affirmations. I do a lot of meditation, and I do a lot of asking and expecting to hear from the divine source. So for me, that's God or, Allah. But the point is, I expect to hear. So I put out what my questions are, those questions that's been rolling throughout my mind a whole entire month. I put them out when my menstrual cycle comes. And I meditate, here I come, boo. I meditate on them heavily so that I can take that moment to hear. And when I hear, that allows me to start to implement the week following my cycle. And that week following my cycle becomes spring energy. So that's the time that you start to work on and move on the things that you got divine guidance for during the winter solstice period of your menstrual cycle. And then the week of your ovulation is going to be like the summertime, because when you ovulating, baby, you have these natural pheromones that's making people naturally attracted to you. It's like bees to honey. It's the time when you want to be out, you want to be talking about your business, you want to be connecting with people, you want to be sharing what you do, you want to be in people's inboxes. If you've been talking to people, this is the time to follow up with them in your business. This is the time to set stuff aflame in your business. And then the week following that, which is the week that's leading up to your cycle, is the fall. And the fall is a time where you're doing the last reaping of the harvest. So if you planned every month around your menstrual cycle, where you didn't do that much work during the week of your cycle, but those other 3 weeks were very powerful, driven, very mind focused and executed weeks, it will allow you to keep your business in divine sync. So you would just be on the flow of your cycle and you would be moving things forward also in connection with the seasons and the way that things move naturally in the universe. Yes, love.
So I've seen this before, and I definitely believe in working moon and the energy and the seasons and all of those things. But for someone like me, I don't have a menstrual cycle anymore. I don't have um like the symptoms of, knowing when my period was going to come and all of that. So how would I do this?
So you could do yours according to the new and full moon phase. Okay.
Okay,
So if
I
you
don't know
don't,
what that is.
I'm going to tell you. So if you are not currently menstruating at this time, then you would set your business's cycle according to the moon phases. So every moon there is a new moon, there is a waxing moon, there is a full moon, there is a waning moon, and then it starts over again. You want to set so that your winter week is the week of the new moon. And I can show you this, like I can, send this to you when we get off of here because I didn't bring like a graph of it, but I can show you what that looks like and even how I section my month up for my staff because my cycle does not always sync with them, but a lot of my staff member cycle syncs up because that just kind of naturally happens when women work together, right? So their cycles end up syncing up the same week. So it almost ends up where I'm the only one working one of those weeks and everybody else is off in the company and then they're all working and I'm off. So it's like, it's not necessarily synced up for all of us, but it's synced up for them. So the point is you want to make your first week, which I'm counting the first week. When I say first week, I mean the week that the new moon comes in, that whole week leading up to your waxing moon, you want to make your winter. And then from your waxing moon to the full moon, which is about a 7-day period, is going to be your spring. And from the full moon to the waning moon, it's going to be your summer. And from the waning moon to the new moon again, it's going to be your fall. So for anyone who has, like I have some women that I work with who have like hysterectomy and things like that, or maybe they're in menopause or whatever, like if you are not consistently menstruating for whatever reason, you're going to set your cycles for your business up to moon phases versus sync to your personal cycle. Because our menstrual cycle is literally just synced to the phases of the moon anyway. That's why it's called the 28-day cycle. So it's synced to that. You get what I'm saying? So you can utilize that same energy of the moon to still dictate the business cycle. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
No problem. Key number 4, what you do now will yield fruit in 8 to 12 weeks. You want to learn and master customer purchasing psychology. Now, I'm going to give you a real quick overview of what that looks like, but we can dig into this way deeper in our February 1-hour intensive that we're going to do. Customer purchasing psychology. A customer needs to see your product. Now, this came out of Guerrilla Marketing Tactics, which is a book that was produced like in 90 something, but he took the time, it was like 98 or something like that, but he took the time to learn how customers function when they see businesses and brands, right? And this is before we had the ease, and for some people it's not ease, but I'm saying ease of social media marketing. This was when people were still doing newspaper ads and using newspapers and flyers and stores to be able to get in touch with people. And let me also say, I don't think that we should stop doing that. I think that person-to-person advertising and marketing and word of mouth is still very essential in this climate, and we can't fully rely on social media, but that's a whole nother speech for another day. So when he did the study, he saw that a customer needs to see a product, an average or service, an average of 8 times before they actually purchase it. Now, that doesn't mean that you're not going to have some impulse buyers who are going to see something and who are going to move on it. But when that happens, that because you did one of two things for your customer. Either you initially solved a problem that your customer had right away. So they already had an issue that they were trying to find a solution to. They walked into the store, they found your product. Oh my God, that answers what I've been having a problem with. I need to buy this. They purchase it, right? Or B, it deals directly with an emotion that you piqued inside of your customer and made them realize, damn, that hurt, or darn, that thing over there is something that my kids could really use because, oh, look at it. You did either solve a solution for them or piqued an emotion point in it, whether happy, sad, whatever, that made them move based off of their emotions. Those are the one of two ways that you can get impulse buys instant. But back to what I was, the main gist of this, the average is 8 times. But the thing to keep in mind is that most people or most advertisements that you do, they only see 1 out of every 4 that you post. Think about when you're scrolling online, right? Let's think about when you're scrolling on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. let's say that an ad was put into your feed somewhere on that scroll for a course. How often, out of all the times that you see it, especially those ones like when you go to, let's say that you went to YoniLoveHerbals.com and you looked at one of my courses. And then when you came to Facebook or Instagram or TikTok, now that you came to my website, I have in some kind of way curated for you to be, every time you go on your social media, for you to be seeing. I know y'all have had this experience before where you might go look up one product and a thing or land on somebody's website by accident. And now every time you go on social media, that's the only thing that you're seeing. They're working on subconscious mind there. So even though you're not clicking on it, they're still working to add up to the 32 times that you got to see it. But that's another thing for another day. The point is, how many times, I want you to ask yourself, how many times do you see that same ad on your feed before you actually click it to see the learn more button or the buy now button? The likelihood is that it probably was quite a few before you actually acted on seeing it. And so what we got to know is customer buying psychology. And so that's why marketing and advertising is a numbers game. What you have to do is you have to make sure that you get yourself into the eyes of your potential customer a minimum of 32 times to ensure that they purchase it. Now, don't get like, oh shit, let me excuse my French, but that's probably what some people are saying like in this. Like, oh, that mean I gotta be making 32 social media posts? Oh, I ain't about to do that. No, you could create one post that you boost on Facebook for a very small amount of money for those who want to pay. And that creates the traffic that you need consistently, and then create ads that reroute to that particular ad that builds the 32 times for you. Or you could be like myself and some other people who have mastered the concept of putting out free content that is content that helps a person on social media. Like, so on TikTok, on Instagram, I post things, mostly on TikTok, I post things that are going to be game changer tips or things that people can learn from that makes them notice you. So by the time the 32nd time you run across my video, my post, my whatever, I'm using that free source of traffic of posting, and I don't do it 32 times. I might post 5 times a week, for example. That 5th time when that customer sees it, they actually take the action and they click on the link in my bio. That link in my bio is going to route them to some kind of free something, maybe webinar or a handout or something that can help them where they are at that point in their life, that's then going to help them realize, hey, this is something that I need. And when they see that it's something that I need, they also receive value, because things that we don't want to sell for the sake of selling, because that's going to end very quickly. What you want to do, and this goes back to our why that we talked about in the very beginning, you want to make sure that you're syncing your why all the time throughout your business so that you are actually meeting the needs of your potential customers as you are going throughout the month. We're not looking for dead sales. We're looking for building customer relationships and connections that's going to allow us to move forward in building our business. So we do this by giving content and information that's going to be things that the person can use to change their life. And when they experience the impact of that product or that service that you offer, it makes it become a lifelong customer. We also are not in the business of trying to get one-time customers. We want to build relationships with our customers that allows them to stay a lifetime. And if they don't purchase from us, they refer us to somebody else who could use the product or the service or the thing that we are offering. Does that make sense? So we want to make sure that we're focusing on marketing ourselves in whatever way that we do it. And like I said, in February, we're going to focus more on the marketing aspect. Right now, it's just giving you the keys to start rolling in your mind and thinking about and planning in your business in order for us to get into marketing, because that's a whole world of its own. Last but not least is building our business to be 2 aspects. And on that slide that I showed you in the very beginning, it was 5 keys. The 5th key is making sure that while we are working on a product or a service that we offer, we also build a residual source of income into our business. And the reason why this is so important is there's going to come a day when you're not going to want to get out the bed. It's going to come a day when you have a baby. It's going to come a day where life is going to life. Maybe somebody gets sick. Maybe you have to leave the country. Like something's going to happen where you're not going to be able to turn into work that day. Having a residual source of income is the one thing that allows you to keep on making money even when you can't physically be there to generate the income. Right now, most entrepreneurs build their business off of an exchange of time for their money, right? So I do something or I provide something and a person pays me. But it's not until you get into residual income sources that you can really get to financial freedom and time freedom, because that residual income stream is what allows you to separate from having to show up or not having to show up. And for me, I've implemented this in a couple of key ways, and I'm going to encourage you to think about doing the same. There's 2 main things that I've done. Of course, my online courses, right? So I have online courses that people can purchase while whether I'm asleep, whether I'm awake, whether I'm on the beach, whether I'm sitting at home at my desk, whether I'm at my business locations, whether I'm building a franchise somewhere, whether I'm connecting with the ambassador. It doesn't matter. The person could go on the website and they can purchase the course. So courses are a major stream of residual income. The second thing that I would suggest, if you're not comfortable with creating a course, or you're like, I don't know what the hell to create a course about, is to think about digital products in some kind of way. So maybe that's a printout or a booklet or a worksheet or something that you create that goes hand in hand with your doula or your herbal business. Maybe it looks like the top 10 herbs that every mom needs to have in her pantry. And that becomes the book that you sell, the ebook that you sell for $4.99 on your website. The point is that $4.99 put to enough people a month turns into $4,999. You get what I'm saying? It becomes a residual income stream. That small ebook combined with 2 other ebooks that you build during the winter solstice, because this is the time that you're going inward and you're hibernating. So maybe you have one course or one ebook that's $4.99 and another one that's $10 and another one that's $10. If you put them all together, they $25. Maybe you do a dynamite sale and you can get all 3 ebooks for $20. And when you do this $20 deal, they're buying all 3 ebooks for $20. It took you, I don't know, a week to develop all of them because you were focused and you pushed them out. That's $20 times 1,000 people gives you $20,000 into your bank account. You see what I'm saying? The math starts mathing very quickly with residual income. So now, when you're like my boo Chelsea and you want to be able to stay home and take care of your baby and nurse your baby and not have to worry about nothing else, or you like Shay and you want to be able to pull away from your 9 to 5 or whatever you may be doing, or your nursing career, to be able to build your business, you're not stressed about income coming in, or you're not feeling like you have to turn into work every day because that residual income is moving for you in some kind of way. The winter solstice, if you want to incorporate residual income into your business, is the perfect time to do it, because it's the time that you're gaining all of the knowledge that you need in order to put it into something that you're going to birth in the spring. Don't forget, we birth in the spring. Okay, so we're carrying this pregnancy, this baby, this course, this whatever you're going to do as your residual income, and then you birth it in the spring or leading up to the spring. Because remember also that what we speak about now is going to take 8 to 12 weeks for our people to come around to purchase it. And then the last thing that I have used other than digital products like worksheets and ebooklets and online courses is subscription boxes. And I know that y'all have seen me talk about it on Facebook, but I can't describe to you how this company that I partner with inside of my company has changed the trajectory of my business through a freaking subscription box of things that people purchase every single month. So this particular subscription box has 450 something products. The person can go in there, they could curate their own entire subscription box every single month, and they could order things that they're naturally using and that they would be purchasing from Walmart, or they would be purchasing from whatever store, Target, or they would be purchasing from Amazon. They purchase it through the subscription box company, and it has everything from, say, baby products. So for those of you who are like into the doula thing, and then those of you who are like, I ain't into that, I just want to, do what they can go pick whatever they want. And okay, love. And then that subscription box becomes the thing that everybody I talk to, I just tell them about it. Like, yeah, I shop and I get all of my skincare products from my online shopping club. Oh, yeah, I get all of my household cleaning products from my shopping club. For my Yoni steaming business, everything that I use to clean my physical location comes from that subscription box. You see what I'm saying? So now, as I'm building with other Yoni steam business owners, as I'm building with other doulas, as I'm building with anybody, I'm telling them about it because it's genuinely things that I use, that I love, and it becomes easy. We automatically help people to sell their product, whether we realize it or not, through word of mouth all the time. When you tell your girlfriend or your family member about your favorite restaurant that you went to, or this place that you just discovered, or this new headphone set that you got from wherever, those are all business subscriptions. The difference is those places are not paying you to tell people about it unless they have affiliate marketing. So the affiliate marketing aspect allows us, affiliate marketing, subscription boxes, online, courses, PDF, digital product, all of it is residual. It goes all into residual income. We do something one time and we continue to get paid on. Okay. And so that's the last key. And I feel like that's something that people don't focus on. Either you hear everybody talking about, hey, join this MLM and get this product, blah, 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 blah. And that's all they do. Or you hear people talking about, look at this product and service I have. Look at this, blah, blah, blah. But they don't have a fail-safe plan. I know for me, my mom always taught me a plan A and a plan B, right? That plan B for me is my residual income. And to be quite honest, that is starting to meet neck and neck with my product line. So now I'm getting to the place where my product line and my residual income source are racing each other to how high they can get every month, all off of implementing a course or a digital product or a subscription box and just sharing it with regular word of mouth with the people that I'm connected with. Do you guys have any questions about that, or anything that I said? And this is where we end. So I want to open up the floor for questions. I thank you for being patient. Sorry, this went a little bit over, a half an hour over, but there's a lot that I want to share. I have so much knowledge. It was like I had to hold back from being able to put everything that I wanted to put in these and make them small, ingestible sections. I know I shared a lot. I'm going to share this PowerPoint presentation with everyone and send it to you in your email so that you will be able to look it over and go back over what we talked about. And then also for the recording, I will share that as well for you to be able to see, and just go back over and remember what questions you asked and what my response was. But do you have any questions off the bat for what we talked about?
I don't have any questions right now. I'm just kind of taking in all the information. Thank you for doing this. For me, doing this and being able to go back and listen and take more notes, the more times I listen, that's helpful for me. I think I won't have as many questions until we start doing the business, building the business part together.
Okay. That's understandable. That's understandable.
I actually have
Hey.
questions. I actually have some questions because I am like my biggest thing is I do want to create some lectures about just the herbs that I use like simply every day, or just like the basic ones that I use to structure my business that I have to reamp anyways, legally as well. But I do want to do digital courses. I was doing virtual tea parties and I did a show. Um, sorry. We have 6 feet of snow outside. I mean, 6 inches of snow. So if you hear the plow, it's really
I
distracting
can't
for
hear
me.
it, but my goodness.
Okay. But yeah, so I wanted to create digital courses. I think that would be really cool. I know I've taken like my Yoni training a few years ago was a digital course like on Coursera or whatever. But I would like to do that and possibly make an ebook out of all of my research for the herbs. But I just don't know where to like get an ebook that would guide me. And then also just if you had more information on like the subscription box as well as like the free like Yanni steam thing that you had mentioned as well, or the affiliate program that you have or something.
Okay, so let me also tell you, Chelsea, you can think about this, pray on it, set your intentions or whatever your thing may be to, ground yourself with the idea. But starting actually tomorrow, I'm opening up the opportunity on social media for women who want to begin to teach online courses and platforms to be able to do it through the Womniverse. When I first created the Womniverse, I created it as an online platform where I look to be able to gather a bunch of masterminds in different areas to offer a platform where women could come and learn everything that they needed. And so you could, if you wanted to, come into that. I'm not asking for any monthly fees or anything like that. In the very beginning, I think what I put down was something like 2 or 3% to cover the cost of the website continuing to be up. But it's a very small percentage of whatever your course would be selling for as your contribution towards it. My biggest thing in this is helping women to build a platform of residual income for themselves and see the power of it. And then eventually when you grow yourself, then you start, contributing back into the community in some kind of way. So when I created the red tent, that's what it was all about. And so I'm opening that opportunity up to you if you want to offer it. I just got 2 other sisters from the doula realm who are not necessarily doing their doula work, but are looking for ways to be expand, who just sent their course information over, and they're going to be uploading their courses to the website for February enrollment. So we will take care of all the enrollment stuff. You can market your course as much as you want. And we will help you to do that. My team will help you to do that and then help you to build that residual income source in. That's the first thing. So that's like a resource that you can use. Second thing is, yes, I will send the information for both of you to the affiliate marketing program, because we have affiliate marketing for the courses that I offer, but I also have the affiliate marketing for the distributorship. So like you can suggest storefronts or businesses that that may be interested in carrying any part of our product line and get paid when that storefront enrolls, and it's residual income. So those are 2 things that I recently built into Yoni Love Herbals that allows you to get paid. It's nothing upfront that you have to pay. It's just a matter of us reciprocating you when the energy that you put out of telling us who it was actually turns to business. So those are the 2 affiliate marketing things that I think you're talking about. And I'll send that information to both of you.